why don't we hear from someone more credible? Someone like the founder of CSR Insight, a member of the Public Relations Society of the Philippines, a member of the nonprofit organization JCI Philippines, the Public Affairs Manager at World Vision of the Philippines, a former Public Affairs Officer at Smart Communications Incorporated, and a former Senior Special Lecturer at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila.
Let us all welcome our speaker for today who will talk about the keynote, Reimagining Business Through Corporate Social Responsibility. A virtual round of applause for Mr. Deivid Rioferio.
Hello everyone. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I hope that I am heard and seen clearly. I'd like to share my presentation. To the Lyceum of the University of the Philippines, University Manila, and Professor Lolita Ocampo, sa mga organizers nitong event, especially kay Kyle Genovis, and to my fellow speakers, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It's truly an honor for me to be here, and I am humbled to be considered a partner of your class for this event. The title of my talk will be about reimagining business through corporate social responsibility. Two key points here. We see business and corporate social responsibility. Pwede nga ba silang paghiwalayin? Sino bang nauna? Yung business o yung CSR? We'll see about that later. Businesses need not only survive, but also, more importantly, thrive. Alam po natin yan, di ba? Bilang mga business experts, and mga nag-aaral ngayon about business and ethics, they need to survive and more importantly, thrive. Pag sinabing survive, parang ano to pag isipin mo parang daily na nabubuhay ka, no? Pero pag thrive, you'll think of conglomerates like the Ayalas, di ba? Hundreds of years na silang nandito sa Philippines running their businesses and all other multinational companies. Madaming metrics para masabi natin na ang isang business ay nagto-thrive. At ang isang point na doon is yung corporate social responsibility or CSR. Kapag nag-start ang business, sinasabi nila, siguro we'll wait for 5 or 10 more years before we start giving back to the community, before we start doing corporate social responsibility. It makes sense. Kasi naman, alam niyo naman, ang businesses, meron mga investments na ginagawa yan sa umpisa. Tama ba? That there should be a return of investment, ROI. So it just makes sense for a business owner, for companies, to delay somehow the implementation of CSR programs kasi palabas ang money for CSR. Pero ganun na nga ba talaga hanggang ngayon? O baka nagbago na? Pwede ba na kapag nag-start ka ng business, sabayan mo na rin ng CSR? Or pwede ba na yung iba nga nag-uumpisa ata sa CSR, tsaka siya nagiging business. So, marami siya nagiging forms na, I know na pag-aralan niyo na yun. Ito, dadaanan natin for some review. With businesses come products and services, employment, taxes, and other things that promote development. You'll ask, bakit ba kailangan ng business? Sila lang naman ang kikita dyan. Hindi po. If you're seeing pictures of old Manila, di ba, maybe you're familiar with Quezon City, and then that part yung merong Araneta Coliseum, di ba? Smart Araneta Coliseum. Nung ginawa yon, that was, I think, the largest domed Coliseum in Asia. Ang laki-laki niya, no? Pero, as I scan the photos nitong Araneta City, ano siya, parang puro parking lot lang yung palibot niya. And then, puro lupa pa nga, hindi pa sementado. Because that was how many years ago. Pero, ang sinasabi ng mga builders in the Philippines, build and people will come. Ang galing ng idea na yun, no? So, kahit nasaan ka pa, build and people will come. So, nung naitayo yung Coliseum, nagkaroon ng employment, nagkaroon ng service, maybe nagkaroon ng products, nagkaroon ng kainan, and ngayon, kita niyo naman, di ba, may mall, may trains, may buses, may terminals and all. So, nandoon siya, nagpo-promote siya ng development. And this is what the government wants. Any nation will want. There's development. Because with development comes access to basic services such as healthcare, education, safety, etc. Nakukuha po ninyo. So, kung tayo ay mag-uumpisa ng isang country, o wag na, let's start a city, di ba? So, magsa-start ka ng city, blanco pa lang yun. You need people to go there. That's why in Japan, di ba? People or the government is paying people to stay in one area, to transfer, to migrate from one city to another because they need a certain part of Japan to be alive once more. Kasi pag walang tao, walang basic services na kailangan, walang development na mangyayari, walang businesses na papasok. So ganun siya, no? That's why businesses are really important, enterprises are important for a community, for a city, a province, and a country. Singapore, sinong nakapunta na ng Quezon City? Kahit Quezon City lang. Di ba ang laki-laki ng Quezon City? If you go there, that's the largest city here in Metro Manila. Tapos, kung dadagdagan nyo pa ng onte, no? Maybe a few square kilometers ang idadagdag niyo. That's Singapore. Ganun siya kalaki. At ganun lang siya kalaki, you know, for a city nation to be an economic powerhouse. Ang galing, 'di ba? So, ganun siya. Ganun niya binubuhay yung mga if you look at Singapore historically, wala naman yan, halos palay-palayan din lang yan, 'di ba? Ang galing, no? Pero dumating si Lee Kuan Yew, there's good governance, and then yun nga, inayos nila yung takbo ng businesses, and then nag-boom yung city. Another one is nakasakay na ba kayo ng jeep? O, 'di ba? Yung jeep na iconic jeep daw natin. So, saan ba galing yan? You know, if you're familiar with World War II, so itong US, nagdala sila ng maraming jeeps. Nalimutan ko yung model, pero it's like GP something. So, nagdala sila ng mga jeep. Ito yung umpisa ng ating iconic jeep, ano? Also in Korea, ganun din ang ginawa nila. And then, nung natapos na yung war, ito na, ginawa na siyang passenger jeepney. So, binigay na, binenta na siguro. And then, yung isa doon, yung Sarao Motors, if you're familiar. Lumipas ang ilang decades, like 2, 3, 19, ano yun eh. Kailan natapos ang war? 1945 ba? Tama ba? So, 50, 60, 70 years after the war, the jeep is still there. Which is good naman, ano? Kasi at least napapakinabangan, yung design niya, it proves to be very, very viable for transportation. Pero ang tanong, should we really be happy with that kind of iconic jeep? I love jeepneys, okay? I love the manufacturers. But if you look at Korea, South Korea, no? Meron silang brands ngayon ng car. They have Hyundai, etc. Ang sabi ng isang writer, a columnist from Manila Times, si Rigoberto Tiglao, ang sabi niya, yung kanilang jeepneys, na meron tayo noon, pareho tayo, na iniwan tayo ng mga ganyang jeep ng US after the war, yung kanilang jeepneys naging Hyundai. Yung kanilang jeepneys naging Kia. Well, of course, not necessarily na yung jeep, ginawa nilang kotse, pinukpok-pokpok. No, not like that. What Mr. Tiglao was saying was that yung government, binigyan ng mechanism yung mga businesses. Halimbawa, pwedeng isinara yung imports ng cars para mag-focus sa mga ginagawa, sa mga innovations ng kanilang country pagdating sa transportation. Maybe there's additional funding coming from the government for research. So ngayon, from the iconic jeepney that we call now, in a decade's time, they were able to create their own brands, which now is Hyundai and Kia and all others. Na siguro alam na alam natin sa Philippines, meron tayo nun, and perhaps in other parts of the world. So that's development. If only our government and businesses will come together and focus on research, sabi nga nung hosts kanina, no, what if gawin nating aircon yung Intramuros? Well, aside from making it cold, marami pang pwedeng gawin na developments diyan sa area natin because I was also from PLM dati. So yun siya, no. Nakikita nyo, what I want to stress in this slide is development. Businesses help deliver development in partnership with the government and all other sectors. Pwede nilang gawin din yon via CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. I hope na embrace nyo, no? Development through businesses and CSR with the government and other partners. We have a set of problems, no, in our society that only multi-sectoral approaches can manage, can solve. Ano yung sinasabi nating multi-sectoral approach? Imagine a car. Nasa usapang kotse na tayo kanina eh. So, we stick with the cars. Imagine a car. Ilan ang gulong ng regular na car? Ilan? Chat nyo nga. Okay, very good. 4. Tama ba? 4. So, dalawa sa harap, dalawa sa likod. Pag sinabi natin multi-sectoral approach, dapat yung 4 na gulong ng kotse tatakbo. Tama ba? Para madala niya yung weight ng car efficiently. Correct? Kung isa lang, or hindi isa, kung 3 lang ang tatakbo, mahirap yun. Baka mabangga ka later on. Yun yung sinasabi nating multi-sectoral approach. Different sectors of the society, church, the government, the private sector, the CSOs, the NGOs, come together to carry the weight of the car. Come together to lead the car, its passengers, the citizens of a city, a province, or a nation towards development. Ganon ka-importante ang CSR, ang businesses, and yung multi-sectoral approach na binabanggit natin. And throughout the years, yun, buhay na buhay ang CSR. Ngayon, makikita natin sa discussion natin later on, also with other speakers, paano nga ba siya nagbago? Paano na reimagine ng businesses yung kanilang role in the community for development. Okay? Okay pa? We go to the next slide. Now, yun yung sinasabi natin, CSR or Corporate Social Responsibility initiatives have always been there in one form or another. So, iba't ibang forma pala siya, no? Ano yon? Sige nga, can you chat there? I hope I can read it. Later, I'll read it, So, pwede siyang volunteerism ng mga employees, pwede naman donations, halimbawa, o di kaya company doing relief operations. Pwede rin related sa marketing, yung tinatawag nilang cost-related marketing or cost marketing. If you buy this shampoo, you'll get a certain NGO or a group will get X amount from the sales, diba? So for businesses that want to be engaged in CSR, there is the Philippine Business for Social Progress, PBSP. Matagal na itong itinatag, no? I think kasama pa dyan si Mr. Washington C. nung kinreate itong PBSP. The office is in Intramuros. Okay, the chairman now is Manny V. Pangilinan of MVP. And then dati yung president niya ay si Brother Armin Luistro. And then ngayon ay si Ray Laguda, dating mga taga-Department of Education. So yun ang ginagawa nila, no? If I'm a small business or even if I'm a big business and I don't know how to do CSR, I need partners to collaborate with, then I go to PBSP. Pwede rin naman, na on your own, you do your own CSR. There's also the League of Corporate Foundations. League of Corporate Foundations or LCF. So halimbawa, meron tayong PLDT Smart Foundation, One Meralco Foundation, Maynilad or Manila Water Foundation. So, Mega Wide Foundation, National Bookstore Foundation. Nagsasama-sama yan. Ang dami, no? Sama-sama. So, they come together and then, yun nga, they collaborate para tumulong dun sa kanilang community and sa bawat isa. There's also the Association of Foundations or AF. Halo-halo naman ito. So, meron private foundations, meron din namang mga NGOs, and then meron mga standalone na foundations. Kunwari, Operation Smile, diba? It's a foundation that works for children with cleft palate and cleft lip. So yun ang ginagawa nila. They come together and collaborate. Then there are award-giving bodies also that recognize best CSR practices, like the Public Relations Society of the Philippines, or PRSP, where I'm a member, and also the IABC, or the International Association of Business Communicators, or IABC Philippines. Sila naman yung gumagawa ng Quill Awards. So annually yan, some for PRSP nag-start ng 1950s pa ata, no? So they gather itong mga CSR practitioners, PR practitioners, communication experts, and then aside from training and all other learning initiatives, meron silang recognition program wherein they award itong mga CSR programs. CSR, as defined by the United Nations, sabi nila dito, no, CSR is a management concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders. Ito yung sinasabi ni Professor Ocampo kanina, di ba? Na ang businesses daw, meron silang CSR to impact itong social and environmental concerns ng kanilang business operations. Key word here is management. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya one-off. You know, so CSR now is a management function. Hindi lang siya maisipang gawin. Ay, okay na yan. Gagawa. Although, yeah, it's good. One-time CSR can be considered a CSR. Pero most importantly, maganda na kasama siya dun sa system mismo. Sa management. Pwedeng under ng marketing, pwedeng under ng communications or ng foundation. Para solid kasi just like any business transactions, that it should be black and white. So there's people to manage it, warm bodies to run the programs, there's budget, and there's sustainability. So that's CSR in businesses. CSR is generally understood as being the way, sabi ng United Nations, being the way through which a company achieves a balance of economic, environmental, and social imperatives, while at the same time addressing the expectations of shareholders and stakeholders. Ano daw, Sir David, ang haba naman ng ganito. Di ba, kapag meron kang business, meron yang stakeholders. Ibig sabihin, the decisions you do as a company, the actions you make as a company, impact or affect itong mga stakeholders. Sino-sino yun? It could be the employees, it could be the officials, the board of trustees or directors. It could be the clients. It could be the government. Pwede rin ang media later on kung kayo'y ganun talaga ka-impactful sa inyong community. So ngayon, ang sabi dito, habang ang isang business ay binabalance itong kanilang relationship with the shareholders and stakeholders through CSR, nagagawa rin nila yung economic and environmental and social imperatives nila. Ang tanong ko, bakit? Have you heard of the word sustainability? Of course, kasi mga kayo business students. 'Di ba? Isa yang in na ngayon. Sabi nga nila, CSR is just one of the many things that will lead to sustainability. Kasi ito, meron siyang reports talaga. And then sometimes it's mandated by the company. And some business organizations require these sustainability initiatives. Kasi nga, you'd really want to invest in a company that's socially responsible. Diba? Kasi if they're willing to go beyond their job as merely selling services and products, mas gusto ko dyan. Anyways, we'll jump into that later. Okay, so let's look at CSR from 3 angles. Pinaghirapan ko yan, ha? Dapat yan CTR kasi communication, trust, and relationship. Wala akong maisip. Baka meron kayong maisip na mas maganda. Pakichat dyan, So that's communication, sureness, or trust, and then relationship. So CSR. Okay. So, para daw maintindihan natin ang CSR, 3 bagay ang pwede nating silipin. Number 1 is communication. Sir David, teka, we're talking about business. Bakit tayo nasa communication? Teka lang, tignan natin. Okay. So, communication. What is communication? Sabi ni Shannon and Weaver, this kind of very important model for communication, meron daw sender. So, sender, sa pag-uusap natin ngayon, I am the sender. Okay? The message, it's about CSR, reimagining business. That's my message. The channel is this laptop. or the Google Meets which I'm using. And then the receiver, sino yon? Syempre kayo, our audience. And then, when you chat, when you ask questions, yun ang feedback pumupunta sa sender. Gets? Ano naman yung noise? Noise is kapag nag-lag yung internet, kapag na-off yung microphone, kapag may maingay sa tabi mo, that's noise. Ibig sabihin, something na gumugulo or nagsa-stop, naghihinder dun sa communication. So, itong feedback na to, kung sender, message channel, receiver, dati ang communication, one way lang naman eh. Makapag-announce lang, tapos. Like, di ba, sa panahon ng ano ba, ng mga umalohokan noon in the Philippines or sa Rome, meron tatayo lang sila sa isang elevated area and they will open the scroll and read what's written there, shout para marinig ng lahat, and then that's it, tapos na, para ka naka-megaphone. That's one-way communication. Pero ang mas effective daw doon dapat merong feedback. So makakapagtanong yung tao or makakapagbigay sila ng response. That's why later meron tayong evaluation na gagawin because we need your feedback. We need your response to be able to what? To improve how we do things. Now, ang the best pa, ang pinakamagaling dyan is kapag merong feedback and then ang sender, meron uli siyang response. Nakukuha po ninyo, so paikot-ikot na yung communication. So, yun yung very simple na application nitong model na to, very literal. Pero kung lalakihan po natin siya, we will zoom out. You'll see, for example, your class. So the sender is the class. The message is that we have this event today. The channel will be the social media. The receiver will be the general public or yung target na audience ninyo. If you're a school, say it's enrollment time, the sender will be the school. The message is enrollment or enroll now. The channel will be various channels, including newspapers, radio, and print maybe. And the receiver will be the target customers of the school. So if you're a company, ganun din. You're the sender as a company, as a president, meron kang spokesperson. There's a message that you need to craft or we're running a CSR program. There's a channel. Pwede bang, actually yung channel dito, pwedeng yun na nga yung CSR yung Corporate Social Responsibility Program. For example, Smart Communications is a technology company. Okay? Diba? Clear. Technology because they deal with technology or telco or communication. And if we want to show that we are a responsible company, that we care for our communities, maybe we can create a messaging, something like tech for development. Diba? Development, as we've discussed earlier, can be education, so technology for education. Then there's technology for livelihood, pwedeng technology for livelihood. For health, technology for health, tech for ed, tech for livelihood, etc. And then the channel can be the CSR program. So gagawa na kami ng iba't ibang programa ngayon through CSR, aside from, from the ads and all. Kasi nakikita namin na yun yung tatama na mas madali-dali for our receiver. Again, when creating a conversation or a communication campaign, you always look at the receiver. Ano ba yung pinakamagandang channel to reach them? Ano ba yung pinakamagandang message? Paano ko ipapackage na madali nilang maiintindihan? Ganun din. When creating CSR programs, you look at your beneficiaries. Hindi pwedeng gawa mo na yung programa, tapos isusubo. Nagigets niyo ba? For example, ang favorite ninyo, halimbawa lang, mahilig kayo sa Chicken Joy. Halimbawa, Chicken Joy ng Jollibee. O diba? Langhap sarap and all. And then, nadalhan ko kayo ng KFC. Daw masarap din ng KFC. Pero ang gusto niyo nga, Chicken Joy eh. Why will I give you KFC? So, the problem with some CSR programs is that gawa na, pre-cooked na nakapag-desisyon na sila, top to bottom, this is our program, we'll give it to you, whether you like it or not. That's it. So, ang bagong CSR daw ngayon, tinitingnan muna ang receiver. Again, bakit po tayo nasa communication? Because CSR is an element of PR, of public relations. And PR is rooted in communication. So, if you see, public relations, ano ba tong public or publics na tinatawag that we build relationships with? It's the stakeholders. Di ba napag-usapan natin kanina? Stakeholders, shareholders, so they are the publics. So, doon pumapasok ang role ng PR or public relations practitioners. So, in the early days, PR daw, was used for manipulation. Ala, ang pangit pala nun. Yeah, pangit siya, no? Kasi depende talaga, like, technology is not the silver bullet. You can use it for harm or you can use it for the benefit of many people. Same with PR or CSR. Pwede siyang pang-promote lang, basta-basta. Pwede namang pang-promote ng well-being ninyong dalawa, ng company at saka ng community. So, it's used for manipulation dati. Ngayon ba, meron pa rin yan, Sir David? Baka, pansinin ninyo, be observant. Then, as a form of a one-way information dissemination, one-way communication. So, makapag-announce lang sila. So, they publish on the papers, this is what's happening on the business, etc. And then it became a two-way and a win-win situation. Ito na yung sinasabi natin kanina, no? We're checking on the well-being of our communities. Then, next item that we want to see for CSR is sureness or trust. Sabi nila, can you read the first bullet in your mind or chat it? Public office is a public trust. Ano ibig sabihin nun, Sir David? Ang isang opisina sa gobyerno ay nandyan dahil pinapayagan ito ng mga mamamayan. Ibig sabihin, pinagkakatiwalaan nila na yung opisina ng gobyerno na iyon, ng pamahalaan, whether local or national, ay magbibigay ng tulong sa kanila ng karampatang tamang uri ng pamumuno. Wow, Tagalog, Excuse me. So same with businesses. They exist with the approval of the community. Halimbawa, magtatayo ka ng mall, di ba? O SM or Robinsons, the big malls or Ayala malls. Hindi naman pwedeng magtatayo ka lang dyan basta eh. Tama ba? You need to go through a lot of permits from DENR, the local government, barangay. Look at the airport in Bulacan. Bago siya matayo, di ba? Ngayon, inuupisahan na ng San Miguel Corporation. Pero before, ang daming usapan dyan. Kesyo, babaha sa ganitong community, mawawala, madi-displace yung ganitong families. Even the villages, even the subdivisions, the community, the people living in the area, meron silang say. So, ganun kalawak, yung sinasabi nating stakeholders. Akala natin, pa isa-isa lang. Hindi po. Minsan sabay-sabay pa yan. So, now, nag-iisip sila ng mga paraan. Napakagaling na president ng SMC, si Mr. Ang. So, nag-iisip sila ng iba't ibang paraan how to ensure the community na no, this is really for the benefit of the whole province and the country, aside from, of course, the benefit of the creators, the builders, SMC. So, yun, they run other CSR programs. Later, we can discuss that. So, sabi dito, according to Harvard Business Review, how to gain trust, two things daw. Everybody say two things in your mind or sa chat, two things. So, there should be competence. Dapat daw, magaling ka sa ginagawa mo. If you're a dressmaker or if your business is about food, dapat masarap. Kung ikaw ay nasa services dapat magaling. So, ganun daw yun, If you're good at what you do, halimbawa, si Kyle, di ko nang pagkakatiwalaan si Kyle. Si Kyle, Genovese. Pero magaling siya, ha? So, di ba, he catches my attention. Very, very efficient, very formal when it comes to dealing with, us and the other speakers. So, very good. And number two, dapat meron willingness to go beyond oneself, to go beyond work. Halimbawa, kay Kyle, example si Kyle, pasensya na Kyle na put on the spot kita. Kahit gabi, hindi mo masyadong gabi, kahit mga evening, 7 or 8 p.m., nagre-reply si Kyle as much as possible. So, di ba, dapat 8 to 5 lang or dapat class hours or school hours lang siya magre-reply sa akin. Pero, because he's competent and is willing to go beyond what's asked of him, now, nakukuha niya yung trust ko. So, that is a person-to-person relationship, professional relationship. So, ganun siya. Palakihin po ninyo, Lyceum University, your school. Nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, anong ginawa? Di ba naging online kayo? Pero syempre, hindi lang basta bigla ang online, walang papasok. Inalalayan kayo ng mga professors ninyo, tulad ni Professor Ocampo. So anong ginawa? Meron niyang orientation muna sa mga students. Orientation maybe with the parents. And then, they've also provided you with different means to access education. Pwedeng online. Siguro pwedeng blended learning. Pag hindi kayo makapasok, kapag down ang system, okay lang din. Hindi kayo absent agad. Pwedeng excused muna or pwedeng habol kayo later. So, ganun siya. So, bukod sa competence ng eskwelahan ninyo, ganun din, meron silang willingness to go beyond because they understand you, their customers, kumbaga, their stakeholders. Ganun din po yun. Ganun siya. Ganun ang ginagawa natin for such. Merong trust na nabubuo. And then third is relationship. Okay, I want you to focus on the funnel. Alam niyo yan, di ba? It's the marketing funnel. Can you type it? Marketing funnel. So, sabi dito, remember that selling to customers is not the ultimate goal. Hindi lang naman makabenta eh. Tignan niyo yung nasa baba, no? Merong loyalty and advocacy. Kasi, remember, you're promoting your company, you're doing adverts, marketing for awareness. So they know that you exist. Second is consideration so that when they look at company A, company B, product A, product B, they'll consider you in the selection. Nandito rin si product C or si company C, isama natin sa pagpipilian. So they know about you, then they consider you, and then comes a decision making, whether they'll buy or not, they'll buy you. So convert. Parang election, di ba? So alam ba nilang tatakbo ka sa isang position? Iko-consider ka ba nila versus other candidates? Will they vote for you? Actually vote for you pag yung conversion. Will they buy your product and service? Sabi nga sa business. And then after that, hindi na nagtatapos kasi that's not the only goal na mabili yung produkto. But also, there should be loyalty and advocacy. Babalik ba sila to buy another service, another product from you? There's advocacy. Will they advocate for you? Will they market for you? Will they share you on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and encourage others to avail of your services, to buy your products? Diba? Building mutually beneficial relationships sustains the business. Yun po siya, no? Diyan malaking tulong ang nagagawa ng CSR or ng, halimbawa, cost-related marketing. Ano bibilin mong milk brand, halimbawa, or chocolate brand? Ito bang chocolate that delivers sweetness and love? Or itong chocolate na may sweetness, may love, at meron pang, for every purchase, 10 pesos go to this NGO. Doon ako sa merong 10 pesos kasi, it feels good. Diba? So, madami daw ibang paraan, no? Madami daw ibang types ng mga tao, bakit sila gumagawa ng maganda, why they give, why they subscribe to good things. Number one is they want to feel good, or they want to create an impact, or they want to fill a gap, specific gap, or it's just natural for them to give or to do good. So yun ang tinatouch ng CSR, corporate social responsibility programs. Okay. Ito na po, so merong pandemic paradigm shift. CSR, as we knew it, had always been there until COVID-19, the pandemic hit, and whose lingering impact we experience until now. And looking back, one is compelled to ask, during the pandemic, what did businesses do and not do? So malaking bagay po na nagkaroon ng pandemic. Kasi ngayon, wala nang limit when you do your CSR, when you implement your programs. 'Di ba? Hindi na excuse na, ay, hindi kami makalabas. Hindi, meron naman technology. You can do that. 'Di ba? So, ito po. And then, sabi pa rito, no, ito na, yung CSR today. CSR today, number one, tatlo po ito. CSR today in the 21st century is broader in scope and more aligned with sustainability efforts. Sabi sa Philippine Institute for Development Studies, it called CSR stakeholder capitalism. Na ngayon daw, ang mga businesses, they're looking for the interests, after the interests of all stakeholders, the society at large, not just for business shareholders while pursuing productivity and continuity. So again, CSR is now broader in scope and more aligned with our sustainability efforts. Next, CSR today is more transparent and consultative because of technology and because of all other the media and the bloggers that are there. Ang dami nang pwedeng sumilip, ang dami nang pwedeng makilahok, ang dami nang pwedeng tumingin dun sa ginagawa mong programs. Ito po ano, ito yung mga naglabas ng story natin today. You know, it's good ano that we are promoted nationwide, but it's also a risk. Kasi whatever we say here, whatever we do here, kapag meron tayong maling ginawa or maling nasabi, kakalat yun sa buong Pilipinas. So nakukuha po ninyo, the same with CSR. There's a lot of, even us, you know, individuals, kaya na nating tumingin sa kanila, i-check, because information, right information is just one research and click away. So now it's more transparent and more consultative. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, no? That for CSR to really efficiently work, we should look at the audience, the beneficiaries, the partners in the community, ask what they want, ask what they need, and from there create a CSR program. And then lastly, CSR today is highly encourages individuals to become game changers. O di ba? Ang dami ng different organizations ngayon. There's Link Scholars of Life, mga kaibigan ko po ito na NGOs. There's Silid Aralan, JCI, maybe you're familiar. My newest partner, Rotaract Club of Santa Maria, and of course my organization where I belong, World Vision in the Philippines. Masyado nang ine-encourage, Parang ang dali nang gumawa ng mabuti ngayon. Sinasabi natin, wala nang reason. So, you can do three things, time, talent, or treasure. Kung expert ka pero wala kang time, you give your talent. Diba? Kung pwede kang consultant, halimbawa. Kung wala kang time, pero meron kang, yun nga, so time, there's talent, and then treasure. Pwede kang mag-donate ng kahit small amount sa different organizations. So, pwede ka na as an individual to participate in nation building. As a PR practitioners, sinasabi po namin, we always tell the stories of transformation. Meaning before and after. Dati sa lugar na to, walang impoverished ang mga children. After, healthy na sila. Very good. So, that's a good story to tell. But did you know, sa aming mga studies, lumabas na ang mga donors, partners, sponsors, those who give to NGOs, they're looking for their roles. They're looking for themselves in our stories. So now, when we tell the story, we say that this kind of transformation happened because of our partners, because of our donors and sponsors. So, ganun siya. Ang mga individuals, tulad ko rin siguro, I created itong CSR Insights nitong panahon ng pandemic. Malay ko ba, after 2 years, ito na, nagtuturo na ako sa inyo. Thank you po uli, Professor Ocampo. So, ito po, ginawa ko lang siya kasi ang sabi ko, ang daming mga organizations na wala naman akong pera, meron akong time, meron akong talent, siguro, thank you. So, what I do is, ang expertise ko ay public relations. What I do is, I look for non-government organizations and other groups that are doing good but don't know how to do PR. I introduce them to the media. I introduce them to possible partners. And then yun nga, nakakatulong tayo. Nakakabuo tayo ng isang community na, involved in CSR. I bring companies dun sa mga, dun sa kanilang mga ginagawa. Some of my interviews, my partners in the media. So, in summary, earlier we said that businesses need to thrive. Klaro po tayo dun, not only survive, but also thrive. And they can do this by imbibing the principle of shared values of CSR. In the end, you either pivot or perish. Pwede namang hindi ka mag-CSR or pwede namang gawin mo yung usual way of CSR. But again, if you don't become consultative, if you don't acknowledge the transparency, if you don't acknowledge the individuals who are trying to do good, baka mag-perish ka. Baka hindi mag-propagate yung ginagawa mo. Because the name of the game now is collaboration. There's no excuse because there's technology. No need for big money, even in small amounts, when put together, becomes a big impact for the community. And again, in the end, what was thought to be impossible was made possible by external and internal forces working together. Kaya naman pala eh. Kahit hindi tayo nagkikita face to face, kaya naman palang magkaroon ng ganitong webinar. 'Di ba? Kahit kahit onti ang resources, kaya naman pala eh. Hindi, again multi-sectoral, everybody say multi-sectoral. Tandaan niyo yan, multi-sectoral approach. Hindi kaya ng isang company o ng isang individual lang to create an impact, a sustainable impact in the community. Kailangan may collaboration. Kailangan multi-sectoral. In closing, nakikita niyo to, favorite closing ko to eh. Si Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and Cristiano Lopez Haina. Magbabarkada sila. Sabi ko kay Ambeth Ocampo, the historian, bakit ganun? Yung mga magbabarkada, sila-sila yung mga national hero ngayon. Does that make sense? Sabi ko kay Ambeth. Was it planned? Ambeth Ocampo, the historian. Sabi niya, ko David, pero yan, no, okay nga. And what I realize is, looking at your class right now sa ating Google Meets, magbabarkada rin kayo, right? You're also friends. You're also classmates like Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and Graciano Lopez Haina. Who knows? Years from now, you'll be in PowerPoints, your photos, colored na siguro. And people will look up to you because you collaborated. Di naman kaya ni Jose Rizal mag-isa yan eh. Ni Marcelo Del Pilar, Cristiano, and there's not one hero that saved the Philippines. There's a lot of them. Yun po. That's your future. I speak that vision for you. Thank you and God bless you.
Now, that is what the founder of CSR Insight has in for us.